Coney Island, I go up to people, put the camera in their face. I like to shoot 3-4 feet away with a 21 millimeter lens. All of these photographs, all of them are with a 21 millimeter lens.
Interesting.
And if I'm close to a person and I can't speak, it makes it a little harder. But I nod, I have the camera in my hand, I show them the camera, and then I put it up to my eye.
Yeah.
If they don't want me to do it, they'll put their hand out, or they'll say no, or they'll turn away. I don't get that much. I get usually what I want.
Hello, photography friends, and welcome back to the Vermont Center for Photography here in beautiful Brattleboro, Vermont. I'm here today with another book of the week. We have a guest today, Harvey Stein, photographer and educator up from New York City, to talk to us about a few books. We're going to be looking at Coney Island People, 50 Years, and Mexico, Between Life and Death. So, Harvey, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Before we get into the specifics of each of these, I just wanted to ask you, why books, right? You've done a lot of them.
Yes.
What is it about books that really makes it kind of exciting for you to do?
I've done 10 books. I have 2 in the works. You know, I grew up with books. I was surrounded by books, so I give my parents some credit. I love books. I don't know. It's a whole different world. You escape from your reality and into the book. Certainly, I was into, as a kid, you know, children's books, but as I grew up, more travel books, some fiction, not photography books until I became a photographer. For photography, it seems to me it's the best way to preserve your work. You can have an exhibit and that lasts a month. You could be in a magazine and that lasts maybe a month. But books last for, not forever, but
but close.
but close, yeah. And I'm known for my books, and I love the process. It takes a long time. It shows that I can start, do and finish a project over a long period of time. So I have the willpower, the stamina, and the interest to spend 50 years even doing a book.
And I had a conversation recently with another artist. The idea of a book is sort of every spread is a puzzle, right? The whole thing, right? Exhibitions are amazing, but the book is really something that you have to.
And very challenging to make, and endless to make. It's never finished. And it's finished when you hand over all the material to the publisher, but even then it's not finished. I've done 3 books on Coney Island, and I'm going there this Saturday to photograph, so I could do a 4th book. I probably won't, but I love going there. I love the experience of it, and I love shooting there. So why not continue?
Go with what you know.
Yeah.
Speaking of what you know,
and you learn more each time you're there, and you see different things each time you're there.
Speaking of what you know, right? Talking about doing a lot of books over a long time. Mm-hmm. What's different about making a book in the contemporary sort of 2020s, let's say, versus when you started out?
Well, it's digital now. Everything's digital. In the old days, you had to show a portfolio to a publisher, let's say, in his or her office with 20 or 30 or 40 prints. Now you just send a PDF. You do it electronically. You do it virtually. So that's really different. Things are quicker now, for sure. It takes about 9 months once you hand over all the material to a publisher for them to produce it. That was then. Now it's probably 6 months, 7 months. So that's different. It's less personal in a way because you're not meeting any longer.
You're not all getting in a room
person.
together. Yeah.
You're not. Yeah. I still make prints. The way I submit work is have 50 prints, 40 prints, and go I still try to meet with them the old-fashioned way, but it's harder and harder to do. So that's what's really different.
Let's talk about these two, right? Coney Island, 50 years, Mexico, between life and death, right? These are both places you spend a lot of time in, interacting with a lot of people.
Yes.
What is the relationship, if any, between these two? How is it different? Let's start with how is it different, right? Going to Coney Island and photographing versus going to Mexico and photographing.
Well, Coney Island's closer. It only takes me an hour to get to Coney Island. It might take me 5 hours or more to fly to Mexico. I use the same camera. Frankly, for me to shoot it, it's not very different. The Mexico book came out in 2018. The Coney Island book came out in 2022. So it's only separated by 4 years. My shooting method is using the same camera, like a film, same film, and I tend to go up to people and try to interact with them. I can speak, what's different is at Coney Island I speak English and I'm understood. In Mexico I speak English and I'm not understood.
Interesting.
So I don't know Spanish. So I'm a little shyer maybe in Mexico. I don't know the turf as well as I do.
Yeah.
So, but I try to overcome that and just do the best I can with it.
Do you feel the language barrier changes how you photograph?
Maybe I do a little less close-up with not knowing the language.
Yeah.
I don't speak to the people as much that I photograph. Coney Island, I go up to people, put the camera in their face. I like to shoot 3-4 feet away with a 21 millimeter lens. All of these photographs, all of them are with a 21 millimeter lens.
Interesting.
And if I'm close to a person and I can't speak, it makes it a little harder. But I nod, I have the camera in my hand, I show them the camera, and then I put it up to my eye.
Yeah.
If they don't want me to do it, they'll put their hand out, or they'll say no, or they'll turn away. I don't get that much. I get usually what I want.
Interesting.
But it is harder. I would say it's harder to photograph in Mexico because they're not they may not like to be photographed as much as Americans.
Sure, sort of an expectation of being photographed.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And they're not used to that. We're here. And in Coney Island, there's so many photographers, and it's been photographed a lot.
Right, it's sort of the place to go.
It is.
Talk a little bit about, we were talking about the kind of mechanics of a photo book, and you had said the idea of the spread is sort of where you spend time. I've just opened sort of to I think one that you had pointed out. Talk a little bit about how you think about the spread and the relationships that take place across the page.
Yeah, they're two vertical men. They're both holding something. And they're both on a pier, on the same pier, the major pier. And I see a resemblance, a similarity between these two photographs. And I guess that's why I put them together.
Right.
They look like they could be friends the same day. And I think there's a connection between the two of them.
Yeah. And you also mentioned the importance in your book, sort of the broader flow of everything. And you pointed out, here's this is the last image
photograph with Coney Island.
Right, and
then there's
all the way at the beginning.
Right, is Coney Island. So I saw these two. These were taken maybe 10 years apart, 20 years apart, and I knew with the lettering is what struck me, the graphic quality of these two images.
Right,
and I knew one should start the book as an introduction. I like an introductory image to bring people in. Not that they look page 1, page 2, page 3.
Right.
They usually leaf through the book from back to front.
Yeah.
But I wanted to assume that they would look first at the first picture with this introduction, and then at the end, the Coney Island and the woman jumping with joy that she's there as an exit.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it works or not.
Well, that's the fun, right? The fun of building a book is trying to figure out what works. And sometimes it feels like you could just toss them in the air and they'd probably do the same thing.
Oh, I would never do that.
No, we can't. We can't do that.
That would be awful.
Last question. Is there a photo book that you feel has influenced you? Is there anything that jumps to mind? I'm not,
Well-
not the best, but what do you think sort of stands out as something that you...
I would say I love Winogrand, and so any of his books, I don't shoot like him, I don't think, because I do get up to people. He's totally candid. I try not to be candid. Winogrand for his street work, and Richard Avedon in the American West, probably for his portrait work. Very formal, I like that too. And Diane Arbus, his work, and Robert Frank, of course.
Of course.
So the masters.
Yeah, right.
I grew up with
the canon
photography,
Yeah.
knowing them and meetings. I met Diane Arbus, I met Avedon, and they were influential to me. But I try to always shoot in my own style and in my own way. I don't want to be influenced too much.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that comes through in both Mexico Between Life and Death,
Yes.
Coney Island People, 50 Years. Harvey Stein, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
That's Book of the Week for this week. We are here at the VCP, Vermont Center for Photography. The library behind me, the James Danish Library, is open whenever VCP is. If you want to come down and take a look at Harvey's
And both
books.
of these books are in there.
Absolutely, yeah.
And they're still buyable too.
Yes.
Purchasable.
Purchasable, right, exactly. So
If that's a word.
yeah, feel free to come down and take a look. VCP, whenever we're open, the library is open. And you can become a member of VCP as well. And that way you can check these books out, take them home if you want to enjoy them in the comfort of your own living room. So that's Mexico, Between Life and Death, Coney Island People, 50 Years. Harvey Stein, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
If you like what we do here at Book of the Week, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and please follow along. We'll have another Book of the Week next week. Thanks again, and we'll see you then.